Holy Gospel according to St. Matthew, the 13th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Throughout Matthew's Gospel, Jesus and his disciples proclaim the good news that the kingdom of heaven is near. Here, Jesus offered several brief parables that explore the implication of this announcement for people's lives. A reading from Matthew. Jesus put before the crowd another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that someone took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, but when it has grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and become a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches. He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that the women took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until all of it was leavened. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and reburied. Then in his joy he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. On finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was thrown into the sea and caught fish of every kind. When it was full, they drew it ashore, sat down, and put the goods into a basket and throw out the bad. So it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come out and separate the evil from the righteous and throw them into the furnace of fire, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all this? They answered, yes. And he said to them, therefore, every scribe who has become a disciple in the kingdom of heaven is like the master of a household who brings out his treasure, what is new and what is old. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
You all may be seated. I'm cunning author. I have order is like this. Numbered. So we heard in there the kingdom of heaven. That's what Jesus is talking about, like all list of different things. And he spoke in parables. You probably heard of the parables before. Parables are storytelling technique. That's what you can do. It's a metaphor. It's very indirect. So it's told one way, but trying to also tell something else in there. So some people said parables are weird. It is so enigmatic and very strange, and not exactly sure what they're trying to tell me. But at least this we can talk about the parable which is very memorable. The story that Jesus tells, triggers our imaginations. When we hear in parables or in stories, that something connects to our lives. Something, maybe not directly me, but something I read it, or I watched it, or so and so kind of thing. So the story that Jesus is trying to explain in this kingdom of heaven, in very inviting us to imagine and step into this mystery of God, that what he is talking about. So the parables today is just the list what Jesus told has the talking about the kingdom of heaven or the reign of God. It's like, he said it's like a mustard seed. Somebody plants it and it grows. I'm not a gardener. I don't really plant anything. My family's brown. But when I hear this one, I think of somebody like Pat who buys a seed and plant and try different things. And sometimes it's growing things. Think about that and, oh, that's what kingdom of heaven is like. Or the other one is the yeast that he also talked about. Does anybody bake bread in here? Any bread bakers? You bake bread from the yeast? So you exactly understand what it's talking about. You have this yeast, you have to feed them, and then you start getting bubbly. You mix with the flour, and it's messy, isn't it? If you have to have lots of flours to mixing together, and you wait till ferment. So this glory parable, you come closer when it's talking about how this kingdom of heaven expands. And my husband and I are the failed sourdough bakers. Sourdough was hard, but we use regular yeast nowadays. But one thing I can tell you, it's not always rises. Bread baking is a chemistry. You have to have this right temperature, right humidity in order to really rise and fluffy bread to make. It requires a skill set. It's not the easiest thing. It's not always like automatically goes, unlike the baking powder. That's automatically goes, but not the yeast. Kingdom of heaven is like the treasure hunting. Somebody goes and buys stuff. Probably Vicky, you understand this pretty close. You go buy stuff to resell it. And sometimes you find something like, that is a cool one. Kind of things. Or the treasures heaven is like the dragon net or the fishing or shrimp net. Bobby, you probably understand just how that the fish get all the things. And then you go in a boat and you got all the lots of fish and some you keep, some you don't. You exactly know. That's how the kingdom of heaven is like. I don't know about the soccer coach thing, sorry. I have no idea. Oh, is that what it is? You can relate that way? Or the teachers, I don't know, maybe some other parables. But something I found very fascinating about this reading was the kingdom of heaven. Jesus spoke in very ordinary things. Something we experience, or something we heard about, something we imagine. Kingdom of heaven, I wonder, it's found in ordinary, like our ordinary lives. So I'll give you my example of this kingdom of heaven, experience it in so close to me. I do not know you know about this or not, about me. I love treasure hunting. Mm-hmm. Bettina knows about my treasure hunting. Finding treasures. But my treasure hunting is not to look at the map and go somewhere to the island or something. My treasure hunting is at the thrift shop or farmer's market. Those places are treasure hunting because you get there, you may have something, I may have something minor I'm looking for, but you get there, you don't know what you're getting in. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. In the farmer's market, whatever the farmers bring, you really don't know what they have, but you just go and sometimes guys say, oh, purple potatoes, thank you, kind of things. Then you get into it. But sometimes you don't. So, like, or something like I recently got was like in a thrift shop. Last Friday I went to the thrift shop and I found the plastic ball in $1 to use for the, I was looking for the cat food bowl for my outside cat food coming our doorsteps. Because all the rest broke, like my temporary one broke. And I have to rip apart. So, and I found this and I was like, thank you. And I went to the cashier with a great joy. It's like, thank you, thank you. So, when we find something when we be looking for, or maybe something which was not in a list of looking for, it brings tremendous joy. That's what Jesus described as the kingdom of heaven is like. Something maybe you're looking for, or maybe not. Maybe by accident, found something, the treasure. And you go, oh my Lord, thank you, God. And with a great joy, you share, you show off, and you tell somebody. That's what I saw when last weekend I was spending in the mountains with the Roselle and Dickie. They have the dog named Stella. That dog loved tennis balls. I mean, many dogs like those toys kind of thing. But that one, especially, I played a lot of soccer with her. So at the throwing the tennis ball, and when you throw all the way to the creek, she runs and runs, and then trying to look around, and sometimes you need to help her to point it that direction kind of thing. But she goes there, and then again, and come back with the ball in the mouth with a great joy, and say, do it again, do it again, do it again. That's the kingdom of heaven coming near. Those are the signs of the kingdom of heaven coming near. That when you watch that joy, you go, oh, it makes me joyful too. It makes my busy and little tired heart lift up a little. That's the God's activity. God's salvation and saving act is happening over there. Or I saw another dog named Babe with common heads. That dog, when you give the ham bones, the dog will grab it and eat some with the joy, and this dog bear it to the ground like the story for the later joy. And sometimes the dog bury it to the Coleman's garden and get in trouble too. I watched that one cycle. But that's the kingdom of heaven. Maybe like. So Jesus spoke the kingdom of heaven in parables in very ordinary examples. I gave the example of like the treasure hunting. And this is something last week really stuck with me. I wonder, Jesus spoke in the parables in the kingdom of heaven so that we too witness and hear and taste and experience this coming of kingdom of heaven on earth. When We notice, see, experience the kingdom of heaven, which brings joy to our lives, and this joy nurtures our souls. So I want to leave you something to think about. Because Jesus spoke the kingdom of heaven in very ordinary thing, which means we too witness the kingdom of heaven in our daily lives. So where do you find kingdom of heaven in your life? Where do you see and hear and taste or experience of God's saving actions? Maybe to my husband and me, it's finally over 1 year. Our cats are finally learning to tolerate each other. They don't go after too bad now. They can recognize each other. And I think that brought me a great joy. Because it has been a struggle for years to figure out what to do. Or maybe, spending time in the mountain and listening to the creeks flow and without worrying about gnats and mosquitoes biting you. That's relaxing. There's something on my shoulder also going like this, comes down. That moment, it's a kingdom of heaven. It's near to me. Or maybe finally the sermon comes together in the Sunday morning when I wake up. That's what I typed this. I had something yesterday. I was like, I quite woke up like, this is it. See, that's like, thank God of the things that graciously something comes. Or if you or my husband finding the right music to play for prelude and postlude. That brings him a great joy. And it's like sitting in a car, he would say, did you hear it? Did you hear it? And I was like, yeah, I heard it. You found the right one. Kingdom of heaven brings joy in our life. Whether whatever is going in our life, even the small joy. At the moment, we know that the kingdom of heaven has come near, that God's saving activity is so close to me. Jesus and his disciples proclaimed, the kingdom of heaven has come near to you. So this week, I'll invite you to look around, noticing the sign of the coming of God's mercy, God's forgiveness, and God's grace. And when you notice it, you found a treasure.